Donald Trump said something at a recent event that I want to show you. And then I promise, because you'll hear him say this and say, why are we covering this? This is completely pointless. He's just being dumb old Trump. But there's an important point to be made around it. Hold on that instead of me spoiling it. And then here is him saying that first.
I remember a very famous pollster, very well-known, John McLaughlin, came to my office just prior to the plague coming in. He said, "Sir, if George Washington and Abraham Lincoln came alive from the dead and they formed a president, vice president team, you would beat them by 40%. That's how good our numbers were. I remember...
Let's just listen to him say that one more time to fully grasp the level of you fill the blank there that is being portrayed in this moment.
Very famous pollster, very well-known, John McLaughlin, came to my office just prior to the plague coming in. He said, "Sir, if George Washington and Abraham Lincoln came alive from the dead and they formed a president, vice president team, you would beat them by 40%. That's how good our numbers were."
Whoa. So there's two options there about what the truth is. Either the truth is that never happened, and or let's say three options. The first is that never happened. He's making it up, and that's how delusionally narcissistic he is. Number two is it happened, but the pollster was kidding. Number three, it happened and the pollster was just blowing so much air up his you-know-where, and trying to just kiss up to him in a disgusting manner. Because I think intuitively we can all understand, maybe two of the most historically popular presidents in history would have a good shot against one of the most historically consistently unpopular president, according to polling, at least in recent history. They probably have a good shot. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Americans have a very high opinion of those two individuals, but this got fact-checked by the Washington Post, showing the polling difference between them. People have strongly favorable or somewhat favorable views broken down on a graph, and the polls show that Trump here is below all of them in many ways there. So obviously that's not the case. Now, one more thing to disprove what he said, and then we'll look at the larger point here. How Biden compares to past presidents is the graphs you're looking at right now. So the green line is Biden. The gray line is the president that is labeled there. So ignore the green line because we don't need to look at that right now. We're not looking how he compares to Biden. But look at just Trump's polling versus the last 5 presidents here, okay? You can see that he was consistently low. He was one of the few presidents, and on this graph, the only president to not break 50% approval rating at any point during his presidency. So believing that someone whose polling was consistently low would be more popular than 2 of the most popular presidents in U.S. history is crazy. Is absolutely crazy. But like I said, that's just silly. That's just us having fun. What's the larger point? Okay. I think this belief is something a lot of the MAGA community holds. Maybe not specifically about Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, but that Trump is just incredibly popular in the country. And that's why they are so confused about the 2020 election. And that is why so many of them choose to believe that Trump won and it was stolen than just accepting that he lost, right? And I have a few clips to show you from interviews I did at this one event where it just so happened 3 different people conveyed this idea to me very clearly, back to back. So you've probably, if you followed me for a while, seen some of these, but very interesting, revealing that truly, the belief of the election being stolen is rooted in a belief that Trump is just super popular. You can just see it, look around. And we'll talk about why in a second here, but here's the first interview from this one event. And then 2020, you think it was stolen?
Yes.
From Trump?
For sure.
And what makes you believe that?
I believe it. When I registered vote here in Austin, the register in Austin, Texas, man, when I was changing states, and she was laughing at me like a week and a half before the election, going, ha ha, this election's already been decided. I was in the car, I had a witness, I'm a caregiver, I was driving this like.
Do you think she just meant since Biden was so ahead in the polls?
No, he was not ahead of the polls, and no, definitely.
No, I mean like polling.
She was cynical, and no.
Because I bet money with somebody that Biden would win, but it wasn't because I had inside information.
I don't have inside information. It's just a feeling.
Just a feeling?
And just with the comment, I mean, just walk around.
So she ends it with just walk around. And so her first anecdote was someone said to me, this election's already been decided. And so then I posed back, but that could have been them just thinking, look, the polls look really good for Biden. It's already all over for him. And then she flipped to, well, just walk around. Okay, so walk around. What would that mean? That means walk around. You could tell that obviously Trump is beloved. And then here's a similar kind of exchange. So if he runs in 2024 and he loses, do you think it'll also be stolen again?
It could be possibly, but there's no way to say that it will be or won't be.
And how will you tell if it is or isn't? Like, do you think he could just lose fair and square?
Yeah, he could, very possibly, but I mean, we feel this last election was rigged and that there are a lot of unknown voters that have passed, and how do you vote if you're dead?
You're saying people used the names of dead voters?
Yes.
To vote? Even though that hasn't been shown out in any of the court cases or anything?
Has shown, but...
Research from who?
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I'd have to ask the person who told me this, and he is not with us today.
Okay, so they're again conveying the idea that based on my personal experiences and someone who's not here with me right now, research they had showed me, so I believe that the election was stolen. Not someone told me this restaurant's really good, so I believe them. No, that the election was stolen. And then last one here, and then we'll discuss further. I'm here with the best looking people at this event. What are you guys hoping to see here at the speech?
We're looking for anything that has to do with election fraud. We came to hear Dinesh and the new movie 2000 Mules, how to avoid this going forward. My recommendation to your whole audience is everybody needs to take off some time in November. Let's get to every ballot location with video and start videotaping this so it doesn't happen again.
Okay, what about you?
And I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where obviously they had 1,100 mules. I just wanted to ask Dinesh, what is it that we could do differently for the next election? And obviously, you know, it's really nice to be around a lot of other patriots.
So here's my question on that. When I hear people talk about this, I want to give it the time of day, but then you look at every official medium that you would make, prove that, the courts, all those things.
Well,
and it's not, it's not like there's not even people that Trump appointed.
Good question. So the thing is, we all know that it happens. So
I don't know that, but
what's that?
I don't know that. So then just absorb this. He starts with, we all know that it happens. Wait, how do we know that? And then look at the direction he takes the conversation. Sorry, it's loading.
Well,
I need evidence to believe something like that.
You already know.
I know. So listen, how about this? Social media only seems to censor liberals because they never talk how great Biden is. 81 million people. I've yet to see anything pro-Biden. How about you?
I think Biden's done good stuff. There's some pro-Biden stuff.
Like what?
American Rescue Plan, getting out of Afghanistan, managing the Russia-Ukraine war.
Taxes at its 40-year high.
So then you heard the important point there. I'll cut it off. So the response that he settled with about why the election was stolen is he goes, listen, how about this? 81 million people, I'm yet to see anything pro-Biden. So this all concludes, based on the Trump clip, into the idea that if you are someone who supports Trump and exists in these social media echo chambers, that in a way we are all very much affected by, some more than others. And that's not necessarily just to right and left. There's some left people who are also just as much in their left echo chamber, but we should all make an effort to get out of them. And so if you are someone who believes Trump is so popular he could beat Lincoln in Washington, as he said, and you look in all of your social circles, all of your social media interactions that are designed, the social media interactions, to make you have the best experience or get the most engagement, whatever it is that makes you get in these echo chambers where oftentimes everyone believes what you do. And then all your social circles, because of how divided we are socially based on our politics now, are people who are huge Trump supporters. You see the world and think someone who's as popular as Trump, who could beat Lincoln and Washington, who is supported by every person I know, could not possibly have lost to Biden, the guy that, I haven't seen anything positive about on my social media feed, as that guy said. And that's how this belief gets so strongly put into their hearts and their minds. So then when a right-wing commentator comes along and says the election was stolen, all of the internal stress that you had watching Biden defeat the guy who's all of the things I just listed in their minds, it gets released. Oh, that's what happened. It's not that maybe my lens in which I see the world is not accurate. Maybe my anecdotes and my personal experiences aren't actually the most accurate representation of the country at large. Maybe I am very biased in the way that I see and observe the world. No, I don't have to believe any of those things because the election was stolen. So I'm still right. I'm still okay. And that is why there's now an entire movement that is willing, as we're going to talk later in the show, is getting more and more pushed towards believing civil war is necessary because the election was stolen from the guy they love and the guy that's so popular. Because of this inability to separate their own personal experiences. Again, people on the left do this as well. We all, in a way, do this, and then just how much we do it is at question. Saying to yourself and believing that the entire world or the entire country or reality is what your personal experiences tell you that it is. And that is where this running away, now this is more specific to the right, from larger sets of data and research and academic endeavors and studies and all these things is really dangerous. Because if you don't have broader research that can tell you as someone who only has your personal experiences until you either hear about other people's or understand based on research that is done on a broader level, on a more expansive level, when you're told by those things a little bit more about the reality that is, not the reality that you see, but the reality that more accurately exists. And so interesting stuff there. That's the more important point off of Trump being Looney Tunes, or off of the pollster telling him something that's completely silly. And I think we all need to watch out for it. You as someone on the left, or if you're someone who's conservative, we all need to do our best to try to get information from a lot of sources, understand which ones are able to be trusted more often, where we should be gathering our information and all those things so that we don't get subject to a situation where we believe outlandish things so that we don't have to internally struggle with a contradiction with something we already believed.